stand tall, never gonna fall. Determination in our eyes, we'll rise above it all. Stand tall with the challenge we face. We stand proud and chase.
Good evening, and welcome to the Nobody Ask Me Guy show. Guys, I'm your host, Melvin Casey Lawrence. You know how we do it here. You know we don't waste your time with cookie cutter questions and just waste time gossiping and pontificating. This evening, we have with us a very special guest in the person of Lieutenant Lifford Jackson, who's a Community Relations and Crime Prevention Operation Bureau from the Caddo Parish Sheriff Department. He has a program that he called REAL, and he'll be talking with you about that. Different things that he worked with, trying to get our youth heads right. Jackson, it's great having you, brother. And we just want to thank you for coming on the Nobody Asked Me Guy show.
I appreciate you having me, Mr. Large. I appreciate being here.
Listen, Lieutenant, if you start us out, and we'll just jump right in because we know the weather's bad and everybody's running late. You know, if you just jump right in and share with us a little bit more about yourself. I know that you're a Louisiana Tech graduate. And I know that you were a star All-American football player and that kind of thing, but our audience doesn't know it. So if you share just a little bit with them, and then we'll jump into the real program and we'll keep it moving and we'll let you go.
All right. I graduated from Captain Street High School in 1984. I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship to Louisiana Tech University where I ran track and played football. I was also fortunate enough to get a free agent tryout with the New York Giants. But unfortunately, I got hurt in minicamp, tore my knee up, and they sent me home. Well, they said you didn't have to go home, but you had to get from up here. So you know how that goes. I was fortunate enough to join the sheriff department. I was fortunate enough to join the sheriff department in 1992, and I've been there ever since, and I love my job.
Fantastic. Well, listen, most people know now, you know, with all the drama with the draft and with Shador and people giving reasons as to why his draft stock dropped and all of that type stuff, and why people when they're free agents, I should say, is that our audience are staunch football fans and those that watch us via social media. You know, man, we know how professional sports work. Many of us, although we may not like it. So, you know, hey, people get sent home every day. I got sent home twice. So I understand you. Listen, let's talk a lot about actually REAL. Now, I know you and I had a conversation previous, and you were telling me about some community programs that you're working on to address young people and to work with the community as far as law enforcement. Now, allow me to say before I shut up and ask you to answer, you know, all of us know, I always make an effort to share with people quite blankly is that we all understand that our police force is needed. We understand the sheriff department is needed. We all understand that some people are criminals. We understand that. And we all understand that sometimes there's a lot of controversy about law enforcement. So and my audience understands as well. That's not what we're here to talk about, audience. We are here to talk to Lieutenant Lifford Jackson about the programs that he has and the ones he'd like to see implemented and how he's working with our community to bridge a gap, if you will, between law enforcement and the general public, because we know, just as people love to say, that all apples may be in the same barrel. If you let the rotten apple stay, it ruins it, etc. So we know, obviously, all apples are not bad. And I do have people, Brother Jackson, that many times in other conversations, you know, many of us want to get into people's professions. And I tell people all the time is that no one knows another person's profession until what the Indians say, until you walked a while in my moccasins. And I can personally, man, I know that you're a great man. I know you do a lot of work in your own right, and you work with our young people, etc. So let's move in and talk about REAL and the other problems that you'd like to share.
Well, when you talk about REAL, it's a program that we're going to implement with the sheriff department. It's called Real versus Real. And what we're talking about is the real, the REEL, such as movies, TVs, anything dealing with television or the movies, versus the real, the REAL, real life situations. Because a lot of times these kids these days, they get confused about real versus real. Of course, you can play video games, Grand Theft Auto, or all these special ops video games, and you can shoot somebody in the head and you can kill them, and you push the reset button. Or you might find a first aid kit on the ground, and you pick the first aid kit up and give you more power to live on through the game. But in real life, it's not like that. One bullet will cost you your life or your freedom, both. So real versus real is just a program we're trying to implement to where we bring kids to Caddo Correction Center. It's kind of like the Scared Straight program, but a little bit more intense, because with the real versus real, the kid will actually see real inmates that they may or may not know. Hopefully they know this person from the neighborhood who supposed to be this gangster, this big time drug dealer, this big time gangster. And but sitting behind bars, shackled up, or in a cell with two other guys, it brings reality to that person. Let them know, hey, this is not like the video game. Can't you get out of here? Can't you escape? Can't you go to the bathroom when you want to? It doesn't work like that. So in real life, we want these kids to see this is a real life situation based on the decision that this young man made or this young woman made in the free world, as we call it. And it costs them their freedom, and it's costing them their life. So we try to implement that, man, to these kids and let them know that that's only on TV. It's only in the movies where they get to come back the next day. But in real life, man, if you're blessed, you might just make it to jail, because a bullet, like they say, don't have a name on it, and it might cost you your life.
Absolutely. Brother Jackson, let me ask this for our audience. When you're working with the real program, and as you guys are preparing to implement that with other programs, do you find even individuals that may already be incarcerated start to understand not only the impact that it have on them as being incarcerated, but the impact that it may have on their families? If children, go ahead.
What I realize, these guys realize, what they don't realize, is that not only does it impact on their families, they don't know to the extent that it goes. I had a couple of guys the other day tell me that, man, I didn't realize that my little brother who has asthma, that when he takes his breathing treatment, I normally read a book to him, but now that I'm incarcerated and I'm not there with him, when he takes his breathing treatment, he sit there and he doesn't concentrate, he doesn't relax, he's crying all the time, and he tells the mom to tell him, hey, it's going to be all right. I got you. But he wants his brother there because that's what he's used to. But the brother can't be there because he's incarcerated. And the guy was like, hey, Lieutenant, man, I never thought about that, man. I know my little brother takes breathing treatment, but I didn't realize how much impact I had on his life by just reading a book to him while he's taking his breathing treatment. And it hurts me to my heart to know that, he's going through a rough time right now. So I like, hey, it is what it is, though. To be honest with you, it is what it is. It's a choice that you made. You should have thought about that before you did what you did, And it's powerful, man. When you just sit there and listen to those guys talk about that, it makes you feel sad inside. But on the other hand, you're like, man, look, it's all about choices. You made the wrong one, and the consequences with those choices.
Okay. Now, Brother Jackson, when you see me looking this way, I'm looking at my monitor. And Damon, from what is he? I've never heard of SEAL, look like a SEAL, North Carolina. Damon is asking, Damon, am I right? Give me a sign or something up there. But Damon is asking, do you ever get to the point where you have inmates? Okay, thank you, Damon. This SEAL. That you work with inmates where you actually build a bond with the inmate, where they get
all the
to
time.
That they actually
all the
listen
time.
to. Okay.
All the time. But I have to realize that my job at Caddo Correction Center is Caddo. It's called CCC. We call it CCC, but it's Caddo Correction Center. But we call it Care, Custody, and Control. I got to realize that's my job. Yeah, I build a bond with some of those men in jail, but I got to realize at the end of the day, I'm going home and they're not. And I got to leave my work at work. And I go home as I'm Lifford Jackson, not Lieutenant Jackson. I'm Lifford Jackson. I got to leave it at work. So I do build a bond when I'm there with those guys, and I do all I can to help those guys find the right a law library book, whatever I can, help them write a letter, whatever I need to do to help them to help their case out. So I'm not cold-hearted to where I'm like, okay, thank you, that's it. No, I do whatever I can to help those guys. But I know my role as a corrections officer, as a professional person, as a lieutenant in the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Department. I know my role.
Now, Cheryl has a great question. She says, how do you feel about recidivism? Oh, thank you, Cheryl. You're going to your vocabulary. She said, how do you feel about recidivism, when you spent time talking with these men and you see them return? Okay, great question, Cheryl. Cheryl
And
is
can,
asking, how do
well,
you
to be
feel
honest
about
with
it? Yeah,
to be
go
to
ahead.
be honest with you, Cheryl, and to be frank with you, it pisses me off because it's like I'm wasting my time trying to help um, give you some positive information, give you some information to help you live when you get outside of these walls. But when you come back, it's like forget whatever you said, Lieutenant Jackson. I didn't pay attention to it because I'm back in here, and it breaks my heart, man. And to me, it's like, what is it about jail that you like so much? Because you know, if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're gonna always get what you've been getting. But yet you can continue to do it, and you continue to come back to jail. What is it about jail? Is it the food here? You know, which I know is not. Is it what is it? I don't know. So it pisses me off when I see them keep coming back.
Listen, I have a question for both of us. I know most of us, if not all of us, love our parents. How difficult is it when you have to really address the parents of those individuals that are incarcerated that refuse to listen?
You say how is it difficult when they have to address
Yeah,
the parents?
yeah, no. How difficult is it when you have to speak with the parent of these young men or the older guy that just refuse to listen, and you can see the toll that is taking on the parent, but you may have to be the one that is the go-between, deliver the message to the parents or see the parents when they come in to visit that person that's incarcerated. How difficult is that for you, Lifford Jackson, as opposed to being Lieutenant Lifford Jackson?
Well, to me, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Sometimes the look on those parents' face is a sign of relief. I'm just being honest with you. And it's a sign of I was tired because I was worried every night, couldn't get the rest because I was worried about my baby. He wasn't coming home at 3 o'clock in the morning. He was get there and he's intoxicated or he didn't come at all. But now that he's incarcerated, I know where he's going to be at. You're going to feed him 3 meals a day. You're going to make sure he's in good custody. You're going to make sure he's in good care. You're going to make sure he gets all the medication he may need, and I know where he's at. I can sleep at night. And just to see that relief on their face, yeah, it's sad to see them keep coming back, but in a way, they kind of have a smile on their face like, hey, Lieutenant Jackson, how you doing? Yeah, I'm back up here. But they're smiling as they say that because they know their son is safe. They know their son is not out here breaking somebody's house or having a chance to getting killed on the streets. So they know where he's at. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword.
Okay, Gerard. Okay. Lieutenant
Yes,
Gerard
sir.
Hampton. Gerard Hampton is asking me to ask you, how do you, when you have to, Gerard, if I'm not asking this question, just put your hand back up and I'll come back to the monitor. He, from what I understand, he's asking, because he's saying, how do you interact with prisoners when they will not comply?
Well, the first thing is communication. We give them a command to do. If they don't do it, we have a group of individuals called the emergency response team, and that's their job is to deal with people who don't comply to rules and regulations. I don't have to put my hands on them. I just call and have a refusal, and those guys are going to be there, and they're going to deal with the situation.
Okay. What piece of advice would you give to our young people that's on here tonight? And then we will be sure to let you go to Bible study and learn something and pray for us all. What last piece of advice would you like to share with them?
This thing on the streets called snitching. Please don't fall for that. If you see something, say something, because you never want to snitch on nobody until it happens to your family. And when it happens to your family, you want everybody and then some to tell what happened. So just keep that in mind. If you see something, say something. And just be mindful of your parents, man. Your parents your parents chose you. All right, they chose who they laid with and had you. They're gonna always be there for you. When times are rough, they might not have enough finance to do what you want them to do, but they're gonna be there in spirit and in mind for you. So just listen to your parents, man. Do what's right. It's not hard to do right. It's so easy to do right than do wrong. But once you do wrong, man, it's hard. My mom used to always tell me it's easy to get in trouble, but it's hard to get out of. So just do the right thing for the right reason at the right time.
Well, Lieutenant Jackson, we're certainly grateful for you taking a few minutes to come in and talk with us. We know that you're super busy and what you're doing, and that the young people are giving you thumbs up, et cetera. And we want to help as well build a community with our young people, our law enforcement, et cetera, because we don't want them to have to be involved with the law, other than the fact of seeing you in the community, building relationships, or possibly seeing you drive down the street, et cetera. Certainly not to be personally having to have contact. So we do appreciate you coming on tonight and appreciate you sharing with us. And we
Well, I do
appreciate.
have a question for you.
Correct.
Somebody to ask you of Dr. Lawrence in your audience, especially those that are local here in Shreveport. You can give them my email address if you don't mind. I need some kids, I say kids, and young people to go out with me to different schools here in Shreveport and tell their story, especially if they're doing good. If you've been incarcerated, if you've just been a knucklehead your whole life and you finally got it right, and you're finally doing what's right, and you're succeeding in life right now, I need you to contact me so you can get out with me and we go to these schools and tell your testimony to these kids and let them know it's never too late. I don't care how old you are. I just need somebody to go with me and say, hey, I messed up and now I'm doing better. And you can too. Because a lot of these kids, they expect me to say what to do. They expect me to tell them to do the right thing. But when they see somebody who's like them or came from their neighborhood, it has a different impact on them. And I just need your fan base, and your local audience to get with me and we can make this thing happen.
Lieutenant, how should they do that? How should they contact you?
You can contact me on my email address is lifford.jackson@caddosheriff.org, or you can reach me on my cell phone or my office. I'm give you my office number. It'll be area code 318-681-0872. That's my office number. And I'd be glad to come pick you up and we can sit down and do lunch. We can talk about our game plan and we can go out and try to save our youth.
Absolutely. Lieutenant Jackson, that's a wrap. We again appreciate your time. And again, brother, as you go into Bible study and as you learn more words, send up some prayers for us, and we're going to encourage our local young people to make sure they use that email address, to make sure they use that telephone number, and to contact you and to speak positivity to the individuals that are in their age range. So we do thank you again, sir, and we appreciate you being here. Any other last parting words before we go?
Mr. Love, like you said, man, you pray for me and I pray for you.
Thank you so very much, Lieutenant Jackson. Have a great and blessed night.
Thank you so much.